This movie was just such a pleasant surprise. When I first saw it, I just thought, okay, it's got Brad Pitt in it, James Gandolfini, Ray Liotta. I'm like, okay, let's just give it a shot. It can't be that bad. And so I watch it, and I'm just like, at the end of it, I'm like, this was a really, really good movie. Some of my favorite films are ones that aren't like very heavily marketed. They kind of just like sneak up on you. Usually, movies that I like a lot aren't like cookie cutter. They're like fresh. They have some kind of like original spin to it. This one, it does still talk about the mob, but it's in a very like fresh way. Killing Them Softly follows Jackie Hogan, an enforcer hired to restore order after three dumb guys rob a mob protected card game, causing the local criminal economy to collapse. So, one of my favorite things about this movie is that the writing is just excellent, and in turn, you have these incredible actors playing the roles. So, you have these two things kind of going hand in hand, and it really makes for some amazing scenes. Something else that I noticed when watching this movie, especially for the first time, is that it really makes you like sit in these scenes. There's a lot of pauses by some of the characters, and the camera may hold on somebody for just a bit too longer than you're comfortable with, and it really causes you to kind of soak in the situation that these characters are in.
You know they're gonna kill you. You know that, don't you? That doesn't have to happen.
Something that I kind of noticed, honestly, just from putting this video together, is that there's no fat on any of these scenes in this movie. And what I mean by that is that they're not giving you anything that's like unnecessary. There's nothing in this movie that feels like it shouldn't be there, or they're just throwing it in just because. I just despise when movies just hit you with just unnecessary exposition. Like it's almost like they're just trying to just force this information to the viewer, to the audience, just so they can catch up. There's no rhyme or reason to why they're doing it. And I don't know. I just feel like there's a better way to do that. A lot of great movies I've seen, there's like a better way to do it. Some of my favorite movies and books only give you the information that you need at the right time. And that's something that I think this movie does a really good job of. They don't just like vomit out all this exposition at a random, like kind of inopportune time. There's like an appropriate time and place, and it'll kind of fall in naturally, just like in real life.
See, 4 years ago, Marky was running this game, and he sees all the cash flying around the room, and he thinks, geez, two guys with shotguns and stocking masks could come in here and really clean up.
That scene in particular is told, like you tell someone in real life, like you tell a buddy or a girlfriend. You're not just like force fed information, and I think this is just a really great example of excellent writing by the screenwriter and director Andrew Dominik.
And Dylan interrogates Marky.
Hey, what's going on? Hey! Hey! You knock over the card game? Jesus Christ! What the fuck?
He uses that whole quick conversation between Johnny Amato and Frankie, where Johnny basically explains his whole plan to rob this mob card game. And he uses all that to get in some really important information in about Marky. They add a voiceover to that, right? They add some quick flashbacks, and then boom, we're all caught up. Something else that I just really loved about this movie, and again, it's a little more so on the writing end, is that the conversations are just so natural. There's a conversation between Jackie, who's the mob hitman, and the driver. And, they're talking, and it sounds like a regular conversation. They're thinking through things, they're logical. And, at that point, it was hard for me to really see them as like caricatures. At that point, I just kind of saw them as like real people.
Chapman's got to be hit. He made a mistake.
Oh, wait a minute. I get it. I see what you mean. The public angle and all. Okay.
This whole clip is just an excellent scene, and again, it's just a normal conversation about an unordinary topic. Later in the scene, Jackie's talking with the driver, just about why he likes to kill people in like a certain way. And it's just something that comes up naturally in the conversation.
They cry, they plead, they beg, they piss themselves, they call for their mothers. It's embarrassing. I like to kill them softly, from a distance.
So, you have Brad Pitt in this movie, and obviously he's a huge movie star. But in my opinion, the X factor in this film is James Gandolfini. He plays Mickey, who is the second hitman. And man, he was just an incredible actor. There's so many little details, little minute details he does in the scene that just really make things, just elevate things to a whole different level. So he just crushed the role.
Are the drinks all right?
No, as a matter of fact, they're mostly evaporated by the time you get here.
Mickey, yeah, the drink's all right.
Bring me another one.
Yes, sir.
So no surprise here, the movie is fantastic, the writing is excellent, the performances are amazing, and that's something, I didn't really focus a whole lot on in this review. I kind of got a little more caught up on the writing side, but the performances are just really tremendous in this movie, because you have to think of the talent you have. I mean, you have James Gandolfini, you have Ray Liotta, you have Richard Jenkins, Brad Pitt, you just really, really good actors, and they all just did incredible jobs. The movie as a whole is a little off the beaten path for a mob movie, but, I think that's why I love it so much. This is really just what happens when the stars align and you have all of these just talented people that come together to create this awesome movie. It's like Captain Planet, but for illegal activity.
Fire! Wind! Water! Heart! Go Planet!
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
Captain Planet, he's our hero.